In the name of serving an inanimate thing like God, the Devadasi system started to serve priests and abbots may have been officially abolished, but Devadasis are still there. This fact has recently been reinforced by Ritesh Sharma's documentary film, The Holy Wives. Screened in Delhi, the film raised questions on such evils as the Devadasi system, which is hardly discussed in the mainstream media these days. The film tells how in this era where women's rights were raised, anti-domestic violence laws were enacted and there were many debates on women's rights, yet there are many areas in Karnataka, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh where these laws are flouted or going that too in the name of religion and completely publicly. During the making of his film, Ritesh went to areas where women are forced into prostitution in the name of religion and faith, and sometimes even raped. But, due to earning a living and social family pressure, these women are forced to be a part of this religious practice. In its early days, under the Devadasi system, upper caste women who used to be educated and learned, dedicated themselves to the service of the deity in the temple and danced in the temple to please the deity. Time took a turn and the temple priests started having physical relations with the women involved in this practice, saying that it establishes a connection between them and the god. Gradually it became their right, which also got social acceptance. After that the king started the practice of keeping Devadasis in their palaces. In the Mughal period, when the kings realized that it was beyond their power to maintain such a number of Devadasis, the Devadasis became public property. Even today, in many parts of the country, the practice of Devadasi by the name Vaisvai, somewhere Jogini, somewhere Mathma and somewhere Vidini continues. This practice still continues unabated in 10 districts of Karnataka and 14 districts of Andhra Pradesh. Organizations have registered their protest regarding the Devadasi system. These organizations believe that if this practice continues unabated even today, then the main reason for this is the social acceptance of women engaged in this work. The bigger problem than this is the future of their children. These are such children, whose mothers are Devadasis, but whose father is not known. Ritesh's film, which raises all these problems, is being screened on national and international forums. Considering it as a fresh and gruesome depiction of human rights abuses, Ritesh, however, believes that it is more important than the screening of the film that our country's law and order should take some concrete steps on this subject, so that not only this evil practice can be eradicated, but such women and their children can also be rehabilitated, who are subjected to this practice, are in the grip of mischief. Devadasis are such women in Hinduism, who are married to a temple or any other religious establishment. They get a high position in the society and their job is to look after the temples and learn dance and music. Traditionally they are celibate, but now they have the right to have sex with men. It is an unfair and wrong social practice. Its prevalence was mainly in South India. In the 20th century there was some change in the position of Devadasis. Periyar and other leaders tried to end the Devadasi system. Some people opposed the idea of the British that the status of Devadasis was similar to that of prostitutes. A few days ago I saw the news of Vellore running on a news channel. The news was such that 12 to 13-year-old girls were selected as Devadasis and they have to spend their lives in the service of gods and goddesses, i.e., God, for the next few years. The status of these girls in the society will definitely be better, but under the Devadasi system, their freedom has been taken away. Unaware of this, from time to time, filmmakers have tried to raise the seriousness of the subject, but our people, who are used to seeing topless Malika and Priyanka Chopra, have rejected it. The film, Pradesh, is a great example of how the Devadasi-turned-heroine comes out of her shell and fights against the contractors of the society to get the happiness of motherhood and social rights for her child. It is very important to end the tradition that has been going on for centuries. Devadasi system is an old and dark chapter of our history and culture, which has no justification in today's time. More than the abolition of this practice, it is very important to strengthen the foundation of the future of those girls, on whom the future of our future India rests. It is very important to improve the economic condition of families like them. Another good news is that the 800-year-old Devadasi tradition at Puri's famous Sri Jagannath temple is on the verge of dying out, and there are only 2 Devadasis for special rituals. Foreseeing this, the temple administration tried to add new Devadasis in the early 90s to keep the tradition alive, but due to countrywide protests against this practice and lack of interest among women, these efforts failed due to non-showing. Devadasis performed 36 different services in this 12th century temple. Locally they are called Mahari. Ravi Narayan Mishra, a researcher, said it is the only Vishnu temple in the country where women are allowed to perform special rituals apart from dancing and singing. Mahari Seva is the only service in which women play a major role. Priest Ravindra Pratihari says that this ritual cannot be performed without a woman. Deputy Administrator of Jagannath Temple Administration Bhaskar Mishra said that this time the service of women could not be availed during Nandotsav. He said that in the birth anniversary of Lord Krishna, Devadasis play the role of his mother. Bhaskar Mishra said that 80 years ago there were dozens of Devadasis in this temple, but now only 2 Shashimani and Parasmani are left, while 85-year-old Sashimani is bedridden with a fracture in her left leg. Parasmani has also stopped coming to the temple for a long time, he said, forced to stay on the bed in her room near the temple. Shashimani says she can no longer do the service she has been doing since the age of 8, she said, I became a Mahari at the age of 8, I have been participating in the temple rituals since then. Shashimani said that people respect Devadasis. He said that Devadasis are considered to be the living wives of Lord Jagannath. He said, Lord Jagannath, is my husband and I am his wife. There is no dispute about this. It is noteworthy that the Devadasis of Maharashtra performed half-naked in Mumbai on the occasion of Independence Day this year. They have already placed their demands in front of the government many times and have protested. They hope that now with this unique semi-naked performance, the government will come under pressure and they will be heard. This is a different question, which forces us to consider the structure of our society, why the Devadasi system is still alive in this era. The reality of this practice, in which these women are believed to be married to the Lord and live in the temple premises to serve him, is well known. It is not hidden from anyone that these women are destitute and miserable. They have to serve priests and abbots under the guise of serving an inanimate thing like God. This is purely dharmakshitra prostitution, which has religious sanction. Recently, the Supreme Court took cognizance of the condition of the children of these Devadasis, also known as Joginis, and asked the Andhra Pradesh government what it had done for the welfare of these children. In 2007, the Supreme Court received a letter describing the plight of these children, which the court accepted as a hill. In a 2004 report of the Human Rights Commission, it has been told about these Devadasis that after the ban on Devadasi practice, those Devadasis went to nearby areas or cities, where they got engaged in the business of prostitution. According to a 1990 study report, 45.9% of Devadasis work as prostitutes in a single district and the rest are engaged in other occupations such as agriculture or industries. The Devadasi system was banned by the government of Karnataka in 1982 and the government of Andhra Pradesh in 1988, but the practice still persists in 10 districts of Karnataka and 15 districts of Andhra Pradesh. This practice is also known by many other local names. The National Commission for Women also took initiative on its part and sought information from the state governments to collect information about these women. In this, many states like Tamil Nadu said that this practice has ended in them. Orissa reported that there was only one Devadasi in the Puri temple, but Andhra Pradesh reported 16,624, presented the figure of Devadasis. Maharashtra government did not give any information when the Women's Commission announced the allowance for them. The commission received 8,793 applications, out of which 2,479 were given the allowance. In the remaining 6,314 the eligibility was not found correct.